For anyone unfamiliar with Until Dawn, the game, it's a very pioneering horror cinematic game where the story is the main focus of it. You basically watch stuff happen and then you make decisions and that affects your story. We've seen that before, but the Dark Pictures anthology games, for which Until Dawn is the first, it's there's more permanence to it. You make a decision, and then that's your story for the rest. Like if someone dies, you're not getting them back. You're getting constant auto saves to make sure that you can't go back and cheat and get the perfect results. Therefore, your decisions matter more than most games. And that is a very crucial element to this. There is that permanence to it, and there is that lack of replayability unless you go right to the start. So, what does the film do? Well, it didn't actually pretend to be a direct adaptation. It didn't bring any of the characters along, and it tweaked quite a few things. But the main thing about this film is them going back to the start and restarting each day, going back to your previous save, that kind of thing, which is the one thing Until Dawn didn't do that most games do. So it just that was what frustrated me, is that if you're going to bring along something, make it the butterfly effect. That was what made this game special, and there was no real attempt to do that. The big immersion with Until Dawn is that you are controlling the characters and you are worried about them dying. So any misstep, and I mean literally misstep sometimes, if you don't hold the controller still at certain moments, you crack a tree branch and you die. In this film, they were like, the whole idea was that it didn't matter if they died, which is just such a strange decision. But moving on from that, it was also just a sort of a shitty American throwaway horror film, which wasn't that scary. Partly because it wasn't really trying that much, like there wasn't prolonged periods of tension. That's fine. Maybe it's a psychological thriller, but it didn't really delve into any of that much, so you can't really call it that. Maybe you could call it a comedy because they were dumb 20-year-olds making stupid decisions, but they weren't making decisions stupid enough for me to laugh. And the sad thing is that they did make me laugh like twice, but that was the only like two or three times they attempted it. So there was just no commitment to any one of these four different genres that it could have been, and that was immensely frustrating. And this was quite a chore to watch to get through. So won't be recommending this if you haven't got that sense already.